And we're still seeing widespread protests in response to George Floyd's death continuing this weekend. Protesters gathered in Atascadero, marching and writing messages that organizers plan on sharing with the city's police department. KSBY News reporter Michael Torres was at the event and now joins us live with what happened and what protesters are calling for. Michael?
Well, Megan, like many of the protests we've seen over the last week, community members joined here at the Sunken Gardens, and today's protest had a march and a moment of silence. But event organizers today tried to come up with a different way to send a message to law enforcement with the hope of bringing change. The Sunken Gardens in Atascadero was filled with people who joined together for a peaceful protest. Unlike some of the other protests, demonstrations, and rallies across Low County this week, this event was planned and carried out by community members rather than an organization.
The purpose would probably be to unite a community. There's not a lot of exposure to Black and Afro-American environments out in this small area, so just kind of getting the community to understand how we feel about certain things.
Despite there not being a large Black population in the city, organizers of the protests wanted to take the opportunity to address oppression and police brutality.
I think it is really easy to dismiss Black community in Atascadero, and it's really easy for us to sink into the shadows or for us to be ignored. And so this, I think, is really important for our city and for our town.
As we've seen all week, protesters kneeled for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in memory of George Floyd. Floyd, who was Black, died after a white officer kneeled on his neck for nearly 9 minutes. Participants at the Atascadero March came up with a unique way to send their message to law enforcement. They wrote down the changes they want to see in the profession.
The more brains we have putting power behind a problem, the more likely we are to fix it and to address it well.
You can march all you want, you can protest all you want, but if there's no end goal, then we have nothing with the march and protest. It's just people walking with signs, down the street.
Organizers of the event say they plan on sorting through those messages and then plan on meeting with the city's chief of police. Reporting live in Atascadero, Michael Torres, KSBY News.
All right, Michael, thank you. It seems like now it's more the push for change. Well, police were informed of the protests and were in the area to make sure everything went smoothly.